The world was still asleep, wrapped in the quiet embrace of dawn. But for Rahul, the day had already begun. The 14-year-old boy wiped the sleep from his eyes and slipped out of bed before the alarm clock could ring. The room was small, the paint peeling from the walls, but it was home. In the corner, his mother slept, exhausted from her long hours as a tailor. His younger sister, barely 10, snuggled under a thin blanket, lost in dreams. Rahul tiptoed across the room, careful not to wake them. He had a job to do. Outside, the air was cold, crisp with the freshness of a new day. He grabbed his bicycle, the metal cool against his fingers, and pedaled toward the newspaper distribution center. The journey was familiar. The narrow lanes, the sleepy houses, the street dogs stretching lazily on the pavement. At the center, a stack of freshly printed newspapers waited. The smell of ink filled the air as he picked up his bundle, folding each newspaper with the precision of someone who had done this 100 times before. He slung the bag over his shoulder, adjusted his grip on the handlebars, and rode into the awakening town. His route was the same every day. The Sharma house, where an elderly man waited on his porch, nodding in silent acknowledgement. The bakery, where the warm scent of bread made his stomach growl. The Patel residence, where a little girl waved at him from her window. Each stop was a small part of his world, a world that began before the sun had even risen. But it wasn't always easy. Some mornings, the rain poured relentlessly, drenching the newspapers before he could deliver them. On windy days, he fought against the force of nature, struggling to keep his balance as the papers threatened to fly away. Once, a stray dog chased him down the street, barking furiously, forcing him to pedal faster than he ever had before. Then there were the whispers, the boys at school who laughed behind his back, calling him the newspaper boy, as if it were an insult. Rahul never responded, never looked their way. He had no time for their words, because Rahul had a reason for waking up at dawn every day. His father had passed away when he was just a child, leaving his mother to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders. She worked tirelessly, her fingers rough from hours of stitching fabric, but it was never enough. So Rahul took up the job, not just to earn money, but to ease her burden, to make sure his little sister had books to study and food on her plate. One evening, as he sat in a corner of their small home, studying by the dim glow of a kerosene lamp, his teacher noticed him. She had always seen him tired in class, struggling to keep his eyes open, but never complaining. Curious, she asked him about his life, and when she learned his story, she was moved. From that day on, she supported him. She gave him extra books, helped him with lessons after school, and encouraged him to dream beyond the limits of his circumstances. Rahul worked harder than ever. Mornings were for newspapers, afternoons for school, and nights for studying. He barely slept, but he never stopped. And then one day, everything changed. A letter arrived, a scholarship to a prestigious high school. His hands trembled as he read it, the words blurring through his tears. His mother cried too, hugging him tightly. His sister danced around the room, cheering. It was the moment he had dreamed of, the proof that hard work never goes unnoticed. But even as he prepared for his new journey, Rahul didn't quit his job immediately. He continued to deliver newspapers for a while longer, knowing that every coin he earned helped his family. Years later, Rahul became a journalist, his words shaping the world he once cycled through as a boy. He never forgot his past. Every time he saw a newspaper boy on the streets, he smiled, remembering the mornings he had spent pedaling through the quiet town, carrying more than just newspapers. He carried dreams. Because no job is too small, and no dream is too big.